And yes, we're live, and I've frozen.
Oh dear.
Well.
Okay. Don't ever change, Ted.
I'm going to have to practice doing that for comedic value. Just
This would be like Police Squad at the end title, wouldn't it? I'll have to go downstairs and get half a banana so I can just drop it out.
yeah, but
Or drinking your water like that. Pouring down. I do need to wash this T-shirt, so it'll kill two birds at once.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to be back. It's good to be back on the Monday. If I click on that blue thing, will it go away now?
what blue thing?
Don't click on anything, Ted. You've already broken half the things in that room.
This is this hangout hilarious on his live.
Oh yeah, you can click that blue thing.
Hangouts on it. Oh, I'll just leave it. I don't.
You can leave it. You can click it. That one's fine.
I bet when he was a kid, right, when he fell off his bike when he was a kid, I bet he'd get a scab and he'd be sitting there like that, picking at it.
Wouldn't you? Didn't you?
I was terrified of pain. I was. Oh,
it's great. It's that little bit of yeah. No,
I just put plaster over a graze and then I leave it for like 8 months when I was a kid.
Plaster, yeah, northern wimp.
I know, northern wimp.
Now, was it one of those plastic elastoplast that didn't ever stick on? As soon as you put them on, they would ping and they were off again. Or was it one of the cloth type?
Yeah, we had proper cloth. We had proper cloth elastoplast. We get it from the Luxie store shop.
It was like gaffer tape for the skin.
We had spit and sellotape. That'd do.
My dad was a cameraman, so it may have well just been gaffer tape.
These guys. Yeah, we're better to say hello to these guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to Monday Night eModels. Yes, we were here last week. We had a week off because of things.
The reasons.
Yeah.
Many reasons.
All the reasons. Because we just couldn't be bothered, really. And Chris was away.
We like to leave you wanting more. So we think if we're, fewer and far between, then you'll be encouraged to watch us when we're here.
Yeah, we might.
Makes my heart grow fonder.
Yeah, we might just start having random days off, so that when you come in, you won't know whether we're here or not.
Yeah, next week we'll have Wednesday off, and it might no difference whatsoever.
Good evening, and welcome to eModels Live. eModels.co.uk. That's the website.
It's not been that long.
It might have been.
It's all of them eModels things. Yeah. Yes. So it's me, Ted, him, Foxx, and him, Chris. And good evening. Good evening to you both.
Welcome. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching this is your show. We depend on you in the live chat, to give us stuff to talk about, because otherwise we just talk about pot noodles and 80s children's TV. Well, anyway, we just talk about that anyway.
Yeah.
But we do need you to give us stuff to talk about in the chat. So if you are watching this and you can't see the live chat, hit the YouTube icon that's down here somewhere at the bottom of the video.
Is that the new thing for YouTube icon?
Yeah, it's the YouTube icon. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to make a draft because it's really hot in this room. Give me some circulation. Hit the little YouTube icon in the bottom corner of your viewer down here somewhere. That'll take you to the YouTube channel where eModels is, and you can see the live chat and you can join in. And you want to join in the live chat because we're going to be giving stickers and mugs away, and I forgot to get the stickers out. Don't forget, though, if you're in the live chat, if you want to ask us a question, put it in big fat capital letters so we have a chance of seeing it, because we're busy being pretty on telly and we might miss your question. But if you want to, you can do a super chat, which is the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your comment in a coloured box so we can't possibly miss it. If you don't have any access to the chat at all, if you're on a mobile device like a tablet, maybe just scroll down a bit. It might be under the player. But if you can't get access, send us an email instead. It's ted@emodels.co.uk. And that's where we'll get your questions and answers and shout outs for special events, or if you're in trouble with the other half, maybe you've done something wrong and we can in no way at all get you out of it, but we can maybe point and laugh a little bit. I don't know. We'll do something.
Yeah. And just thinking, it's only a week till the kids break up from school if they haven't already. So,
is it then? I can never remember when. Now I haven't got kids at school. I don't know when the school things are anymore.
The moment I left school, I forgot when the holidays were. I used to live by the holidays all the time. And I'm getting the stickers out and I can't find them. Hang on.
So some of the guys that watch us might not be here next week, or because they might be on holiday. So if you are going on holiday, where are you going?
We should have got Fox to do this before we went live. So he's rustling all his bags now.
Sorry, I shouldn't take the microphone. I'm sure.
If it's not rustling in his bag, he's banging on his keyboard.
Yeah, I know. You can't get the stuff, can you?
Fox with the sound effects.
Quiet now.
Sure, calm, peaceful. Where were we? Forgot.
I'm not coughing over and everything now. Hang on.
Good evening, Chris. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How's everything on your end? Is your end okay?
My end's fine. A little worn out, but it's fine.
Apart from the bit you broke.
So have you been up to anything this week, guys? But Chris,
Shall I start? I'll start.
You go first, Chris.
I've mostly been doing the Cesarean bits of it. Which way shall I go? Can you see bits of it there? There's bits of Cesarean all over my bench there. Oh, and the little one, the little fun Sinanju, which I've just sprayed in black. It's UMP black primer. It looks like every time I do a kit in black primer, I almost want to leave it like that because the shiny gloss black primer just looks lovely. It
looks like shiny black plastic, doesn't it?
It really does. It looks. I just want to leave it like that, but no, I'm going to be painting that red as well. So I shall be doing that later in the week. I've been doing the inner frame of the big real grade, the RG Cesarean. So I've been again primed in black, then some the Eka color steel over the top of that. A few little highlights of different coloured steels and gold, just to bring out some details on that. But that's pretty much that for the week. And I've also today I got a new keyboard. Look, tiny little keyboard and mouse, wireless, no wires, so I can do twiddling. I can twiddle without having to worry about strangling myself on keyboards and wires and things. So
that keyboard looked like a ZX Spectrum.
Don't know. It's just a little wireless thing.
But it does look like a bit of a. It's more like a Spectrum 48 Plus. A Spectrum 48, actually.
It came with this. Look,
yeah.
It's this.
Oh, what's that?
It's a rubbery keyboard covery thing that you can just put on top.
Oh, that looks eminently squishable.
It's very, very, very thin and squidgy, but it doesn't stay in place for it. It does sort of stay in place, but then you can't really see the letters through it. It makes it a little bit harder to type.
Are you sure you're not just mistaking packing materials as a bonus product?
It's nice quality sort of neoprene thing. I think it's designed as like a dust cover. So once you finish with your typing, you can lay that across the top, and then if you spill your beverage on it, it won't hurt.
You know, it's like when you go into the motor factors or the builder's merchant and you see them, they've got the keyboard cover over the keys, all plastic, about 2 inch thick.
Yeah.
But the tea and the dinner is still underneath it all.
It's to stop the tea escaping from underneath the keys. Yeah,
it keeps it in place.
Yeah, stops the muck coming out of the keyboard. That's what happens. So yeah, that's good.
So that's my week or fortnight really. So yeah.
And Foxx.
Hello.
I was forgetting your name then.
Oh no, with the thing.
What's his name? I know the guy. Yeah, Foxx.
Yeah, Hat Man.
Yeah. Have you been up to anything this week? I know I haven't. Before you get to me and you say what have I been up to, if you notice the desk is clear. I had to clear the desk.
Does that mean you finished?
No, I had to clear the desk so she could put sewing machines on it.
I was going to say, has Mrs. Ted been doing the?
Yeah, she's been sewing. So yeah, that's me relegated to the back room. So yeah. So have you been doing anything there, Foxx?
Yes, I in very similar to Chris, who is working on his real grade Cesarean. Don't forget, eModels do sell Gunpla. I don't know if they've got a Cesarean in stock. They might have one. I've been working on the master grade Cesarean, which is in this and 3 others. It's still in bits at the minute. I'm in the process of assembling it to work out how to paint it. It's the same as Chris's, but a bit more complex and bigger.
It's like a third bigger or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100 scale rather than his is 1/144th. But while I've been figuring that out, I've said before, I'm going to do like a Borderlands paint job on it if I can figure out how to do it. So while I've been doing that, I've been painting up this. It's a thing that's come off. Hey,
that bit of the floor.
It's a Warhammers, but it's just a test pig. I'm going to be testing out the paint job that I'm going to do on the big Cesarean with this, and I'm going to be trying out doing ink outlines like the Borderlands style. So it's painted with lots of weathering and details and chipping and rust. But then I'm going to try doing ink outlines, comic book style, not cell shading. So that's what I've been doing, mostly that this week, trying to get that doing. And other than that, that's it at the moment this week.
Oh, good. Oh. So did you recover that bit off the floor? Or are you
Yes.
Yes, we'll find that later.
It's a bit that was just it wasn't attached.
I was wondering if it was going to be just out of arm's reach, but within eye shot.
No, it was not
you could
supposed to be.
see it all night. And
One thing I did do, if anybody knows their Warhammers, I've painted Gene Stealers to look like bandits from Borderlands.
Because
because it looks a bit like a Bandit Technical, so that's what I'm kind of painting it like. So it's just a test pig, so I can see if, before I paint the Cesabi in the colour scheme and the Borderland scheme, I want to test that I can actually do it. So that's why I'm doing it on that. This little £20 thing, rather than a big £85 Cesabi that's got to go to someone when it's finished. So I'll have to practice first.
Anyway, it's about time we had a look and seen who was in tonight. So it's over to Chris, and who's in the room tonight.
Indeed, I've looked up and changed over to live chat again. Stop making.
Oh, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I better do that.
I think we should actually just default you to live chat. It makes it much more sense. YouTube, rubbish.
First one in was me saying hello all, and then Sergeant Bones says, "Damn it, Chris, you made me spill my coffee." All I said was hello. I didn't shout it or anything. It was all nice, but yeah, there we go. So yeah, me, Sergeant Bones, and then Foxx was in, as is Colin at Festa 67, one of your mods this evening. Cy Reynolds. Lots of stuff. I don't know how long ago all of this was.
Just in case anybody in the chat doesn't know, Cy Reynolds is actually to be called Kevin at all times. Some people might not know that.
Yeah, he
why doesn't just change his name on YouTube to Kevin? It makes much more sense.
We've got Bobbington, Lee Barlow, AJ's in again. Good evening all. Nice to be back. Nice to have you back, AJ. Red Lane 8, Ashley Sparrowhawk, Paul Horner, Gaz Vickers, and are you looking at the chat, Fox?
Sorry, what?
Are you looking at the chat or not?
I'm just looking for something.
I didn't know if you were keeping up with me.
I'm looking for something.
Each week I have to try and decide where Chris is on the chat and try and find it.
Well, it was the next one that Fox likes to read out, but can you guess who it is?
No, go on. Is it Skullfish?
It is indeed Skullfish, yes.
Yeah, I just guessed.
Right, there's a clue. I've got to find Skullfish.
You've got to find Skullfish, then...
I don't know where you are. I'm just going to go right down to the bottom.
Christopher Taylor, Cynical Mank Steve, Zadster Philip Prime, Ickle Pete, and it's jumped. That's Fox's.
We've not seen Ickle Pete for a while.
It's Fox's fault.
I don't think.
There we go.
I found it.
We have Chancellor North Wales. Indeed, not Northwest, North Wales. Jamie Bone, Michael Jackman, Anders Eriksson, Simon Payne, David Moores, Mark. I like the people with one name. If you've got, one name and you don't need any others, that's fine. Yeah. Dave Cardboard, Swigging Pig, Adam Clark.
When you've got a surname like Cardboard, we like the fact you've got a surname on there.
Oh yeah, this is also true. Yeah. It wouldn't be just the same if it was just Dave.
Cardboard and Brian Windmill.
If you are going to put a second name, just make it a good one.
We have RC UK Scale Models saying hi everyone. Paul de Tomaso, Andrew Preston. Names I've said before, I think. Osric 9000, Lewis Williamson.
Don't try and remember who you've said already, because you're the one.
Well, if I don't, I just read them all out, and it takes all night.
You won't remember.
We have another mod in, Mr. Loft Model Making. That's Vincent. Colin Gaff, Jamie Bone, Ashley Sparrow, Wayne Hayward, Paul Miller. Let's say that one. Frogspawn. Frogspawn was in earlier. I remember that before it all disappeared. Lord Barkley III is in. That's Pete Rogers, Timber, and I think that's everybody. Richard Gibbs down the bottom saying hi all.
Welcome to everybody. Very quickly, two things, because I've spotted them in chat and I'll get them before we move on in chat.
Yeah, I haven't actually been reading any of the messages. I've just been
I spotted a couple of things that'll get missed if I don't go back to them. So first of all, Anders Eriksson says, shout out to my friend Mika, also from, I assume it's Mika. I got that right. I don't know. I'm guessing it's Mika. Also from Sweden. Sent him the link to the show. Hopes he enjoys it. Hopes he's watching it. Hello, come and join the chat. Say hello. And Jamie Bone asked a question about if anyone knows where you can get some 1/72 scale decals for a Chinook CH47D Mark 1. I would say give the guys at eModels a call. Give them a call tomorrow morning and see if they either got any in stock from third party, or if they can get a set from a supplier, because they probably can. There will be third party sets, and if they don't sell them directly in the store there, they'll be able to get one from somewhere, because they'll have ties with all the decal manufacturers. So give them a shout tomorrow morning. Drop an email or give them a call. They'll sort you out.
Yeah, cool. What else was that? I did see something else as well, but it seems...
Zadster said that they do have a gunpla in stock, but only a 93-pound gunpla in stock, as far as he can see.
Oh, could that be the Psycho Zacco? But
there might be only one they have in stock at the moment, but there will be others.
Yeah, I think they're expecting a new shipment soon. They do go out and sell out quite quickly, because everybody likes gunpla.
So guys, once again, it's what's in your belly and what's on the bench, what you had for tea tonight, or what you're going to have, or what, even if you had something extra special you wanted to tell us about from last week.
What did you have for your tea, Ted?
What did I have for my tea? I had pie.
Oh, what kind of pie? I can't eat pie anymore. So tell me all about your pie. So
Why can't you eat pie anymore if you've not got knives and forks?
yeah, we've just gone all heathen and we just use like wood and sticks.
Yeah, it was one of the pies that's full of gravy. You know.
Oh, tell me, because I get heartburn as I've got older. If I eat a pie, the pastry gives me massive acid and heartburn, so I can't eat them. So I have to vicariously live through your description of what was in your pie. Tell me all the details.
You can always lift the pastry off. You can open the top. Eat the.
It's not a pie.
That's just a really small stew. In that case,
yeah, but it was a steak pie. It was flavoured with Theakston's Old Peculiar.
Oh, Theakston's Old Peculiar. Oh,
got to live by Theakston's Old Peculiar.
I just called the pie and say, "Listen, can I just get a big barrel of the filling and just don't send me the page? Just give me a barrel of the bucket of the filling, and I'll do."
Yeah, very nice.
What makes a pie is the real question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is a pie a pie? Because technically, shepherd's pie isn't a pie.
No, with sort of. Although I think I can't remember where I saw it the day I was talking to I think one of you guys or somebody. But shepherd's pie is lamb, cottage pie is beef. What if you make it with chicken?
That was my question.
Yeah, that was you, wasn't it? And there is no official name for it if it's got chicken.
Apparently not. No,
it's just it might be a farmer's pie. I think if it's got anything else.
Hutch pie,
cow pie.
Yeah.
No, it's not made of cow. Chicken.
Cow pie. Chicken. It's a chicken pie with cow in it. It's a cow pie with chicken in it.
Some of these pubs do these open top pies, don't they?
I'm sorry, we have to stop
Well,
talking.
It's not a pie. If it's
an open top, it's not a pie. Yeah,
it's a stew.
We have to stop all discussions now because Ashley Sparrowhawk has just dropped a massive clanger in the chat. He says, "Fox, have you ever tried the new pulled pork pot noodle?" I'll see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, we won't see him again.
He probably hasn't even got any in the house. He's off down the road.
Can't find the keys to unlock the porch. Darn it!
Down the road. Mum locks you in at night, does she? Because in case you go out and do random shopping.
Oh, trust me, the fact that my local Tesco's is 24 hours and my local McDonald's is 24 hours. Yeah, I'm living off sushi and McDonald's. It's not good for me.
Yeah, I was in the local B&M store the other day, and they had packing crates full of pot noodles, so you could just lift one up, and I would have thought, what, there'd be 24 pot noodles on it. And just
I've had to say to Mama Fox, because Mama Fox, like towards the end of last year, discovered the joy of ordering on Amazon Prime now, where you can get stuff delivered within 2 hours. So she does a lot of the shopping now through Amazon Prime now. She goes on, orders all the stuff, and a little man turns up and delivers. It's brilliant. But she keeps ordering like 12 packs of pot noodles and 24 packs of like instant noodles. And I'm like, oh, don't stop ordering just all the bottles of crunchy vegetables. That'll do. I can snack on those.
Anyway, go back to food. Let's see what everybody else is having or what they've been eating.
I had Chinese tonight.
Ooh.
We were undecided as to what to eat tonight, and me and my wife both mutually came to the same decision in that we hadn't had Chinese for a while. So I went around the local Chinese and got told off by both the people in there for not having been in for ages.
Oh, at least they remember you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember me.
They could remember me for a good reason or a bad reason, but at least they remember you.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, Zadster confirms the Gunpla that was in stock is the Bandai 100 scale Master Grade Sinanju OVA anime version, which is a very good kit. Anyway, carry on, Ted. Sorry.
Sorry, no, we were listening to Chris's tale about Chinese.
That was it, really. Finished, really. I bought some Chinese. I ate it.
Do you down south always get a bag of those crispy
the prawn crackers? Yeah.
Prawn crackers thrown
in. They give you prawn crackers if you spend more than like £10 or something. So
whether you want them or not.
Yeah, oh yeah, they don't ask. They just put them in a bag and send you out the door.
My favourite local takeaway used to give us these salt and pepper chips that tasted like they'd been doused in crystalline golden syrup. They were delicious. But then they left. They closed down the other place that's there. And it was really nice, but they just give you prawn crackers. It's not the same.
Yeah,
nobody eats prawn crackers, really.
Prawn crackers always get thrown away in here, but nobody ever eats them. I think it's a bit like the salad that comes with your Indian meal, isn't it?
Oh no, that gets eaten. That just gets put on top of the curry and mixed in.
No, just a bag of soggy salad.
No, just on top of the curry. Or get chicken chat as a starter and put the salad in with that and mix it all chicken chat. I'm making myself hungry. Stop.
We've got Lewis Williamson says he's just sat in a restaurant with his family watching us. The wife's not happy, apparently.
No, well, let the wife watch as well.
Hello, Mrs.
Yeah.
Whoever was put the comment in.
Hello, Mr. Williamson. Yeah,
Where are we in chat? I've lost where we are anyway.
Oh, which restaurant is it? Are the staff watching as well?
Yeah, can you not get us put on the big telly?
Yeah.
Yeah, get them to pause. Yeah, they don't need to be watching whatever it is. Yeah, Kevin Reynolds has changed his name now, so Cy Reynolds is Kevin. He says, it's the decent Sinanju. Yes, it's the good Sinanju kit in the store. Robert says he's having a solo breakfast. Susie's staying with the mother. Luke Moses says fried catfish, alligator bites, and 1/48 scale monogram C47 Dakota. Some of that is food, and some of that's on his bench.
Yeah.
Fried catfish bites.
Simon Payne says sausage, beans, and chips with fried egg, but unfortunately nothing on the bench at the moment. He has a wife who's wanting help with the horse.
Is that a horse or a half a horse?
Is it a whole horse? And don't put it on your bench.
Is half a horse transparent? Because that would be awesome.
Harold ate the horse.
Yeah. Because the best way for a horse to be is half transparent.
Sausage, beans, and chips, and fried egg. Yeah.
No wrong with that, can it?
All in a sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where you found the thing about the new pulled pork pot noodle. Pulled pork pot noodle. That's difficult to say.
The thing is, I was kind of scarred by pot noodle because many years ago a dream came true and they made a doner kebab pot noodle, and the angels smiled down on me and I was in heaven. And then when I ate it, it was just Bombay Bad Boy. It was exactly the same, and I was like, well, that's just really disappointing now. So pulled pork, I'll try it, but I'm not going to hold out too many.
It's a bit like crisps when they do that, isn't it? When they say pulled pork crisps, it's just like smoky bacon.
Also, there's no meat in pot noodles. So how are they going to do pulled pork just out of soy? I'll try one, but I'm not going to get myself excited in advance, just in case.
Is that like suitable for vegetarians on the side? Pulled pork pot noodle suitable for vegetarians.
Yeah, anybody can eat that filth.
Flavor.
Filth for everybody. Frogspawn says belly, real Indian pakoras and samosas. Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
And Gaz Vickers says something just run up my leg. Ew.
No, he didn't. He said Chikwan kebab in me belly. On my bench is a Hellcat Mark II 148 and all the war hamsters from their conquest.
Oh, yeah. There is just a little news update. There is a little spider running around under my desk, and it was halfway up my leg. Hey, it's now running around having fun down there. Eat the creatures.
That's the fault of having the window open, you see.
Yeah, that's it, you see.
Yeah, they can get out.
Yeah. Ickle says belly toad in the hole, bench, Lego. Good man.
What Lego? What you need? I need to know more about the Lego. I like Lego.
Give more details. Mark Dale says, were the buttermint on... Wait, hang on. Let's say this again. I've got to pass this and then read it out. Mark Dale says, were the buttermint and arm from Sons of Orc Stomper? Okay, right. Were the buttermint is what he's eating, and he's doing an arm from his son's orc Stomper. I get it. He's doing all the hydraulics from. Has it got a bit too?
I'm reading it. I still don't get it.
Yeah, I think I understand. Yeah.
Chris knows about orcs now. You see, he's done.
Yeah, I don't know about orc stompers though. Are they big legs or something?
Yeah. Paul Di Tommaso says, nice, I wouldn't mind a master grade Sinanju. I've heard Bandai will be releasing a perfect grade Sinanju. I'd like it if they did. They'd probably just do another unicorn now. That's
a Sinanju, isn't it? The one the black one.
You're doing the little SD.
But that's the SD one that just got big head.
It would be nice if they did a perfect grade one, but they won't. They'll just do another unicorn variant. Let's have a look.
Why does the chat jump when you scroll down one line and it goes down 20?
Yeah.
Lord Barkley III is having run pie. I don't know what that is.
I think he's saying that's what might be the chicken version.
Oh, run pie. Okay. Chicken run. I get you.
Chicken run pie. Yeah.
Robert's having breakfast. Homemade granola, tankard of coffee, fresh baked bread toasted. Very nice.
I think Roger said tried it with chicken. It was foul.
Yeah. Chancellor North Wales says, oh, sorry. Go on, you, Ted.
Yeah, Dave Cabot said, isn't a pie without a lid a tart?
It is a tart.
Nah, it's a stew.
No, it's stew. If it's in a pie base, then I think it's technically a tart. It's like a jam tart. It's a tart, and it's because it's not got a lid.
You don't get meat tarts.
You could if you don't have a lid on it. It's not a pie.
That's just stew in an edible bowl, sure. Edible crockery and some stew.
Technically, any bowl is edible if you try hard enough.
Yes. Go on, Ted. Are you reading some bench and bellies out, were you?
Yeah, a belly corn bolognese with pasta.
Oh, yeah.
A bench, a 1/72 Airfix Jeep, 2 off 1/72 GMC trucks. I'm currently working on a scratch built on packing cases and cargo waiting for the go on the C-47. I take it he's building an airfield diorama then.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
Awesome.
Frogspawn says pulled pork. Blah. Pulled pork is one of those things that sounds like it's really nice, but quite often it's just a bit too, I don't know, too barbecue or something. Or
yeah, it depends because pork's nice and pulled pork is really nice, but it's always the sauce that determines the flavour. And a lot of times you just get barbecue sauce slathered all over it, and it's not always the best barbecue sauce. So it's nice. It's just it depends on the.
Could be better.
Yeah,
Daniel's barbecue sauce. That's terrible. Don't ever get it with that one. It's horrible.
Chat's running away down, but we just see that TK's come in and says good evening. Hi TK, how's everybody? Hope.
Hey TK.
Hope little Skylar's okay. Has she started the first kit yet?
Oh yeah.
Philip Prime says pastrami sandwich and a dual operation market garden inspired builds. Hopefully.
Good.
Pastrami sandwich. Wow, I've never actually spoken. He's actually eaten pastrami. That's cool.
Pastrami, it's like the salami type thing, and it's meat.
Yeah, it's classic American, isn't it? I've never actually conversed with someone who's actually eaten pastrami. No. So maybe a pastrami on rye, and then maybe in a 1980s New York police department as well. Hey, pastrami on rye.
Yeah. And I need to go to America just to ask for that, just to go get that. Yeah.
No, if I went to America, I'd have to go to wherever it is you get runzas from because I want to try runza.
Runza.
It's basically minced beef in a thing. I can't explain it. But I saw a picture of one. Needed to put all of it in my face.
Saw a picture of one once.
Yeah, that's enough. Michael Jackman says, I'm working on the PE on the 135th USS New Jersey.
Not the 135th, though.
1350. I just missed out. Oh, no, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, I used to have a back garden. Now it's got a.
Michael sent some pictures in as well, and it's looking fantastic, Michael. Yeah. So, brilliant. Yeah.
Wayne Haywood is working on the real grade Charles Zaku and tuna pasta, followed by a Twinkie. Ooh, Twinkies.
I did read that as Chrissy's Zaku and thought, what? Hey, what?
You're working on your Zaku. Cynical Mac Steve is having chicken and chorizo salad wrap in belly and sanding the end off some aerosol caps to make engine nozzles on the bench.
Cool.
Oh, but it's very scratch building now.
Yeah, Steve does lots of scratch building. He's got some amazing spaceships and guns and things that he's built from.
I don't think. Has he ever actually bought a kit, or is he just?
I don't think he buys kits. He buys things from Poundland and.
He goes Poundland and just buys all kinds of junk and stuff and makes awesome things out of them.
We should have a competition. What can you make for no more than £5?
Yeah, it's got to be nothing to do. It's got to be made out of junk and stuff and bits. But yeah, if you ever, he's put a picture of one of the ships he's built out of things like yogurt pots and bits and bobs and things, and it looks spot on like classic 1980s British sci-fi when the BBC used to make the ships for like Blake Seven, Doctor Who and stuff, and it just classic.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when you see the pictures of it before it's been painted, when it's just all the bits jammed together, it looks rubbish.
Yeah,
but one coat of primer over it, and it's a spaceship.
It's like, wow, that makes all the difference.
That's how they did it. But true Blue Peter fashion. This week we're going to make a spaceship out of a
sticky back plastic and a yogurt pot.
When you said true blue, then Mike Mountain just winced a little.
True red doesn't sound nearly as good though.
No.
AJ has pizza, beans and chips in the belly, 1/24th scale Sea Harrier on the bench still, but he's got tomorrow off. He's going to his son's graduation. He's a proud dad.
Yeah, proud dad. Tomorrow.
I thought you were going to say you got tomorrow off, so you're going to finish it, but obviously not.
Congratulations to a graduating son.
Indeed.
Let's have a look.
Oh, sorry, I'm just catching up. I think I've caught up with where you are now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not there anymore because it jumped.
Just a very quickie, just for some people in chat might not know, but because this is an eModel stream, please don't discuss other retailers in the chat. Thank you. It is an eModel stream. So.
Robert says, I could explain the difference for you between a tart, a pie, and a flan. Oh. And Zadster says, shepherd's flan doesn't sound the same.
No. Bakewell pie.
Shepherd's tart, yeah, has a different.
Yeah, that's completely
That's a
different.
That sounds great.
altogether.
Kevin Reynolds says pastrami is amazeballs if you like black pepper. I hate black pepper, so what if you don't like black pepper? Robert is working on the bench, he says, on the Trumpeter 148 U-boat. Ted knows all about that. He's working on the forward torpedo room parts, painting and weathering all.
I don't know where you are now.
Yeah,
I may have jumped possibly.
Remember, Robert, you don't need to weather and paint the parts you can't see, like I did.
Yeah.
TK says I had Dutch food and there's a Marine on the bench.
Marine
and Dutch food.
I've just been made aware of something.
Is that right? Does that qualify? I had Dutch food.
Dutch food.
Dutch food.
Yes, I've just been made aware of something. I'm going to make a slight change to what's in store.
Oh dear.
Carry on.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
I'm going to have to try and remember what the difference is then. It all moved. Right. Vincent, Mr. Loth Model Making says Italian burgers, potatoes and spinach. Bench B1 bomber getting some paintwork done.
Spinach.
Vincent always seems to have this wonderful sort of. Does he have a special chef at home waiting for him? Always has everything better than all round at Vincent's house.
I don't know where you guys are in chat.
I don't know where I am either. So there you go.
I think we've caught up now anyway.
Yeah, I think
George Taylor says, hello, I just sat down for my lunch and my weekly fix of you dudes. Sushi in me belly, wingnuts, Foxx E2 on my bench. I don't know what that means. I know the
wingnuts is the manufacturer.
Thing.
Foxx is the.
Yeah, what's the E2 bit? Is that
the type of biplane? It's going to be a biplane. Is Wingnuts, is that owned by Weta Workshop?
No, I don't think it is. I think they came around after.
There's some connection with Wingnut, because Wingnut is supposed to make amazing kits, amazing biplane kits. And I seem to remember there's some connection between Wingnut and Weta, but I could be wrong.
Simon Payne sent a picture to us of the horse, just to clarify, it's a horse. Couldn't see half of it though.
Is half of it transparent? Is that
what it's looking from the full side, so you can't see the other side, which is
a 3/4 shot at.
Yeah,
all right. Ickle Peters, the Lego update. He says it's a 6-foot-long custom spacecraft for an exhibition.
Ooh,
I can't do Lego without instructions. It just doesn't. Thanking me doesn't work.
Now, Ted, there is a comment from TK in chat that's directly for you to read out.
Dutch food. Erpel Groennetten is vlees met jus.
I guess that use is juice. Something with juice.
Pie and peas.
Pie and peas.
Pie and peas in sauce.
Pie and peas.
So, it's probably someone from their fish and chip shop. Do the Dutch have fish and chips?
I'm sure they have fish and they have chips, so they could probably make fish and chips.
Oh no! The Dutch have something else, don't they? I went to Amsterdam and they have.
No, we don't know about that story, Ted.
Yeah, ladies didn't know.
No, they do have a speciality. Like it comes in a cone, lots of chips and cheese chips.
But you're thinking of poutine, which is Canadian, I think.
No,
I still need to try poutine.
He would have noticed if he went to Canada instead of.
I don't know. Would he?
Yeah. It's
like, wait a minute. I can read the road signs. Oh no, they're in French. No, I can't. Zadster does clarify that Wingnut is the parent company of Weta and Wingnut Wings is the model company. That's where I was getting them. Back of my head.
Vincent says it's the local butchers doing the lovely meats, Ted. I just cook, grill, or bake it.
Right. I thought he had a special chef that came round at tea time and whisked him up something, all these posh sort of things. But,
yeah. Michael Jackerman confirms that the Fokker E2 is a World War I monoplane, and it's German. We knew it was German, but I didn't realize it was a monoplane. There you go. That'll learn us.
Dave Cardboard, Frieten Mayo. Is that what they have in Amsterdam? Maybe was it Frieten Mayo?
George Taylor says the E in the Fokker E stands for Eindecker, which means one deck. Eindecker. That's why
it's the monoplane. Yeah.
I always wondered why it was called when I was a kid. I was like, it's the Eindecker, whatever. It means one deck, one wing.
TK confirms it's frita or frite, usually served in a pointy bag and doused in mayonnaise. That could be it.
Oh yeah, chips and mayo.
Chips and mayo.
I love mayonnaise on chips. A lot of people don't, but I love mayonnaise on chips.
Yeah, nah, not really.
LD is in. Evening LD.
Good evening.
Yes.
Right, what else? We're getting to the end of the chat now. It seems to be all on food tonight as well.
Yeah, it's just on food non-stop.
Someone said something about the Frogspawn telling Sergeant Bones the new Star Wars theme park has a full-size Falcon with all the scratch-built nonsense in real size. To which Cynical Mank Steve says it's actually bigger than 1-to-1. It seats 6 in the cockpit.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, because I suppose when you're making the full-size Falcon, either for film or for that, they've got to reproduce Tamiya model parts and Airfix model parts. They have to build a 1/12 scale Porsche engine in 1-to-1 size.
Yeah, they have to build a real-size Universal Greebly.
Yeah. Well, they've had to do that before. Adam Savage has said they had to actually put it in set. When he used to build models, they have to build sets with life-size Universal Greeblies.
I wonder if you could use a real Porsche engine then.
I don't know how big it was. I don't know if it was actually to scale there. Probably not. It'd be like that, but that big.
Yeah, probably not.
Greebles, my friend and yours.
Is it Greebles or Greeblies?
I think either. I like Greebles because it sounds better than Greeblies.
Greeblies sounds more organic.
Yeah, but what the original name for what they are was actually Nernies, but that's a stupid word. Nobody calls them Nernies.
Was it invented by like Eric Nerney?
Bob? No, it was the guy that built the models for 2001, which is where they first started putting things on things. They called them Nernies. That's a stupid name. I can't remember who actually coined Greeble or Greebly, but I prefer Greeble.
That was Eric Greebly.
Bob Greeble. Bob Greeble was a rugby commentator, if I remember rightly. Up and under.
Just to point out there, Andrew Preston said he's building the Tamiya Morris Mini Cooper on the bench, and he's got beans on toast on brown bread. No, I'm afraid you can't toast brown bread.
No, it's not.
It's not. No.
It's foreign muck, isn't it? If it's brown bread.
Doesn't healthy. You're not having any of that yet.
Yeah, that's like having beans on toast on white bread, but having a can of macaroni cheese instead of beans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and if you do beans on toast, you can't eat the toast until the bean juice is soaked into the bread.
Well, obviously.
It's a bit like making a student tuna bake, but putting cheese and onion crisps on the top rather than ready salted.
Yeah, that could work. I think I'll go with that one. Well, you can't have brown toasted bread.
Somebody mentioned today in a conversation in Facebook somewhere about Marmite, combining something with Marmite and pineapple. And I found myself not wholly opposed to the concept of Marmite with pineapple on it. Like a piece of bread with Marmite. I was like, I'm finding myself not opposed to this concept. I may have to try it just because I like Marmite and I like pineapple.
Yeah, no. We have a question from Anders.
Question.
When I airbrush primer, there seems to be a build-up of paint on the nozzle. How do I avoid this? Pressure 2 psi, primer, ammo 1 shot.
I think your pressure needs to go up a little bit, doesn't it?
I get confused with psi and
I don't know.
Pressure
like
2. Pressure 2 psi.
It's 2 psi is really low, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 psi is like you want if you're doing if it's ammo primer, which is the same as UMP, you want the pressure to be about 25 to 30 psi. 25 is about right, 30 at most. Yeah. And you need to be working from at the very least a 0.35 nozzle. I use my Neo. That's 0.35, and I can get UMP primer, which is the same stuff, through that no problem at 25 psi. It's thick and gloopy. You need a dead high.
I'm thinking the 2 psi might be a type. Yes, he just comes in with the mint 20.
Oh, 20. Yeah, bop it up 25. The thing is, it will gunk up the nozzle fast because it's thick and gloopy. I find when I'm doing primer, take your crown cap off, not the actual head unit, but just the crown cap. You have to remember that you've taken it off though, because you don't put that back in the airbrush stand because you'll ding the needle. You don't do that with a piece of tissue because you'll stab yourself. But I do it without the crown cap. It gives you a wider if you're doing primer, it doesn't really matter. Gives you a wider blob of paint. It also softens the edges a bit, helps you go slowly and blend them together. But also, when it does kind of go a bit gloopy on the tip, you just get a little bit of tissue, or you can get a cotton bud with some alcohol, some IPA on it, or some airbrush cleaner, and just gently wipe it off the needle, very, very gently, and then you're good to go. So you don't have to keep taking. If you don't take the crown cap off, then you're constantly taking the crown cap off to do that. Or sometimes what you can do if you get tip dry, if you've got gloves on, if that's not on, just get the needle between your thumb and finger and just like that. But a cotton bud with a tiny bit of alcohol on it or cleaner, just wipe it off and then you can carry on. It will bunk up. It will gunk up.
Yeah, you can change the crown. You can get spares. You can change the crown cap for a pinch cap for doing that very thing. It's called a pinch cap because you can pinch the needle. What I usually do is, like Fox says, is I use a paintbrush with some thinners on it. A paintbrush tends not to dink the needle as much as a cotton bud does, so just be careful with the end of it. But,
But whenever I'm doing anything, because I use that 0.35 for everything. So whenever I'm painting something that's big and I'm just doing a flat color, or I'm doing a primer coat where I don't care, I just take the crown cap off. It reduces the amount of tip dry a little bit. It does stop it drying out quite so quick, but it just means you do get a softer fade red, because all that crown cap does is it makes the paint. Imagine that's your crown cap. There's the needle, and that's where the paint comes out. It just makes the paint swirl like that. That's all it does. It makes a vortex and makes it swirl, keeps it into uniform shape. It just means it's a bit more fluffy around the edge. It's fine. It just means you get nice big fat coverage. But yeah, pop it up to about 25 psi. Depends on your hose and the airbrush you're using, but I'd say probably more like 25 psi might work better for you.
And if you do forget that you've got the cap off and you bend your needle, eModels probably sell the replacement needle for you.
Just whenever you go to put it back in the airbrush holder or anything like that, just the number of times I've gone, I put it down on the table and forget. Just keep in mind, because I've airbrush needles go through to the bone. Don't ask me how I know.
Yeah, they do. Shout.
Yeah. Somebody put a comment in chat. I can't find it now. George Taylor says, "Sorry, Fox. I know how to spell your name, but the YouTubes don't want me to spell it correctly."
Yeah, he only put one X in on the comment before. I think it auto corrected to remove an X because it's not a real name.
It's fine. But yes, the one thing you don't want to do with any primer ever is thin it. Don't thin your primers. It doesn't do that much harm, but it does affect the way they self-level. So just don't thin them. They're not designed to be thin. Just up the pressure a bit, and you're good to go.
Matty's Metal Detector, on the subject of spray guns, said he's cleaning out his new Iwata spray gun after trying to keep the gnats and flies off his top coat. A Tupperware box over your model.
Yes, or like takeaway tray. Same thing you use if you're doing like dipping clear pots in gloss varnish, a Tupperware food tray or anything like that. You can just put it up. Don't seal it. I tend to get like a pencil or something, and I'll put it there, and I'll have the tub like that, so there's a little gap for the air to circulate. But it keeps dust off, because no matter how clean your house, the moment you put something with gloss varnish or paint on it, all the dust goes, and it makes that noise.
Or you just get ready to spray. Get ready to spray. Get the model in your hand. You pull the trigger, and it hears.
I think a chicken comes out of nowhere and attacks it.
Yeah, and you can guarantee zip, boom. On your model.
And Ted, which reminds me, are we going to get graced presence of model making chicken this evening, perhaps?
Model making chicken has been on the rounds. She's loving this sunshine. She's out and about, and she escapes. To find that if we're out the back, and we're out the back, she'll hang around. But as soon as we come indoors to go in the kitchen or anything like that, she's off. We found her across the road at the school. People have been with. Neighbours have been fetching her back. Is this your chicken?
Well, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Is this your chicken, and can I borrow a cup of sugar?
How many different doors have you got to knock on before you get the yes, it's my chicken?
Just have a sign on the wall saying it's my chicken.
Yeah. Or we'll just hang around and sort of we'll see her come around the corner. She'll come around the corner of the street and sort of just walking. She'll walk down the middle of the road. She'll cross the road. Yeah, she goes and walk.
Why does she cross the road?
Yeah. Your chicken is basically a cat, isn't it, in its own mind?
Yeah.
Basically a cat.
did go far. We know that she comes back, but yeah, she does go to school. She goes to see the kids across the school, especially if she can hear them at playtime. She'll wander across the road and stand at the gate, looking through the gate at the kids.
Jacqueline Stevens says, "One Foxy, check out Marmite / peanut butter." Now, I'm not a big fan of peanut butter, but I do like peanut butter when it's peanut butter and jam. I think because the jam makes the peanut butter acceptable. I don't mind peanuts. I'm just not a big fan of peanut butter without jam. But Marmite, I have tried Marmite and Nutella in the past, and it does actually work. Kind of. It's really.
Is that the one that you made Paul eat? And he said,
yeah, but I actually enjoyed it. I made him eat it, and I laughed when he went, "Why did you make me do that?" But I actually enjoyed it. But I might check out Marmite and peanut butter. Ashley Sparrowhawk asks, "What is Fox's real name?" Fox.
Yeah, Fox. That's it. Yeah,
That's a real name.
Yeah, I've seen the driving license.
Yeah.
Fox Wolf.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Somebody did mention about having a toothbrush on the desk as a good thing to clean off clogs on your airbrush. That's true.
Yeah, that was Kevin.
Yep, make sure it's a soft, squishy, a fluffy one there. Whatever you do use something soft. I mean, the toothbrush would be good because it'll have enough grip and scrape to get any cloggy bits. So that's not a bad idea, actually.
Cynical Manic Steve said he almost got an airbrush off Amazon Prime today because Amazon doing deals, aren't they? But he just can't afford it to splurge. He can't afford to splurge until payday, and he doesn't know enough about them as to whether or not it's a good deal. Some of them, if the deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. Don't buy any of the Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah, anything that comes with the brush and 35 different nozzles and a compressor for 50 quid, it's going to be ass.
Yeah, it might be all right. It might. A lot of people will say that they're all right. And in fact, yes, I started with a cheap Chinese airbrush, but I soon had to change it.
Yeah, we've said it before, but the reason a lot of people get little cheap knockoff brushes and use them for scruffy things like, oh, it's just for blasting, solvents through or for primers and stuff. The reason all three of us have said before, don't buy nonsense cheap things like that is purely because I've said it before, the learning curve for airbrush is steep but short, and it's one of those things that it's not a question of there's a lot of things to learn. It's just you've got a few things to learn, you'll learn them quickly, and then it's just about getting confident. But if you get a terrible brush that's cheap and knockoff and lasts 2 minutes, it might not even spray correctly, and you won't know that that's the case. You'll be trying to spray with it, and you'll be getting terrible results, and you'll be thinking, I can't spray. I'm not going to use an airbrush because I'm no good at it. But it could be the brush because the needle doesn't line up with the nozzle because you pay 20 quid for it.
Yeah, Cynical Manic Steve goes on to say he thinks it was something to do with cake making as well.
Yeah, no, don't bother. They're fine for cake making, but little cheap brushes like that are fine if you know how to airbrush and you want a cheap second airbrush for doing things like varnishes or just, for the heavy stuff that you don't want to put your nice expensive airbrush through. If you know what you're doing. If you're just learning, I'd recommend save your pennies a bit and go for something introduction level but still decent. Keep this month's payday and then add it to next month's payday and get a decent one. I mean, basically, save up your pennies, and when you've got a good chunk of money, give the guys eModels, obviously, give the guys a call and tell them what your budget is, and they'll get you sorted out because the stuff they stock is all good stuff. They've got Iwatas, they've got Badgers, they've got the expensive, stuff like the harder and steam, but you don't need to go that far straight away. We always say don't start off super cheap because it's going to it might affect how you learn. It'll put you off potentially. Don't go super expensive because you might decide you don't like airbrushing and you spent 150 quid on a harder and steam bag. The expensive ones are for when you know what you're doing and you want to get the quality effects. The cheapy ones are for when you know what you're doing and you need a quick, dirty, filthy brush that you can just use and then throw away.
Yeah, I actually still use my Chinese knockoff because it sprays quite well, but I just use it for putting clear coats through.
Yeah.
The
difference is that once you know how airbrushing works and you know what you're doing, you'll be able to see the shortfalls of those cheap air. You'll be like, right, I understand that this airbrush now doesn't spray properly because I understand how this works, and it's because this and this and this, but I can still see how I can use it. So you'll but if you didn't know what you're doing, you'd spray with it and think, I'm terrible, I can't spray. But it might not be you. So save up some pennies, give the guys a shout, tell them what your budget is. You're probably looking at something like a Sparmax, the Sparmax or the Spraycraft, which they've got in stock, which are good beginner brushes. They're really good. They're made in the same factory as Iwata, so they'll get you sorted out with a good starter set. because it's not worth spending a massive fortune straight away. Go in soft, figure it out, see if you like it, and if you do, then you can always move up to the more expensive airbrushes.
Yeah. I moved from a cheap Chinese copy to the hard steam back because I had a bit of cash to spare, and I thought my airbrushing had improved overnight.
Yeah,
because it just felt good, it sprayed good, and I wasn't spending half the time taking the airbrush apart, and fixing it, and putting it back together again.
Yeah.
The way to think of a cheap, crappy airbrush is to think of imagine trying to learn how to ride a bicycle on a bike with one wheel that's also square. You're going to have a really hard time learning how to ride a bike, and you'll think you're terrible. Whereas if we actually give you a bike with round wheels and two of them, you'll have a much better time. There is a place for cheapy knockoff airbrushes, but yeah, if you get in the ones that
learning is not that place.
Yeah, when you're learning, it's not the way you want to do it.
I see my wife's in the chat there agreeing and saying Marmite and peanut butter is just wrong. I'll agree with her, but we'll agree for different parts of that combination being wrong.
We do have peanut butter and we do have Marmite in the house, so I may try this.
Yeah, we probably have both in the house, but I wouldn't eat any peanut butter.
If I wasn't doing what's in store, I'd go off and make one like somebody else.
George Taylor says lots of model making talk today. He tuned in for food and 70s TV talk. Yes,
we very rarely do 70s TV. We often do 80s TV.
Oh, we do 70s.
70s is.
Yeah, it's because nobody remembers 70s TV. They remember 80s TV.
Yeah, it's because it was better.
I went down a black hole last night there because I looked for something and it sent me off down a whole Google adventure. And I'd forgotten things like, here we are, 70s TV, Barnaby Bear. I blanked him from my brain, and I was like, God, I remember this. I was watching episodes of Pipkin with Hartley Hare.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten what genius adult writing was actually in that children's program, because Hartley Hare was like a completely camp, very neurotic, very manipulative, very mercenary character. It's like, this is adult writing and it's fantastic. Yeah. I spent hours just looking up all the actors.
Who were the characters in there? Can you remember the characters from the Pitkins?
Yeah, there was Hartley Hare, Octavia the Ostrich, and there was Pig, who was just called Pig, and he was a brummie. All right, I've made a pie. There was the pig, and then there was the tortoise called something.
Tony.
Yeah, and then I started reading up about Fingerbobs.
All right, I've got vague memories of these, but I couldn't name any of them.
Yeah, I didn't know this was only ever 13 episodes of Fingerbobs, and the guy that played the mime artist Yoffie, the guy with the beard, was actually a guy that was on Play School. He just grew a beard for Finger, and apparently on the last ever episode, he got Fingermouse and he dunked it in a glass of water and drowned it. Really? He kept the cameras rolling.
That's not on.
A lot of our stars started on Play School, didn't they? There was Play School and Play Away. Brian Cant,
Floella Benjamin. Yep, that's the only two we can name. Moving on.
And Big Ted. And
Big Ted and Little Ted.
Round Window. Yeah.
Jemima. Yeah.
What great name's Hamble. Lee Barlow says he started with the Sparmax airbrush. Great starter brush. It's still going good 4 years. Sparmax are good budget brushes. They're kind of, in the US, you've got Badger, who are kind of the Badger at start. Badger makes some really expensive, really nice brushes, but they also do a lot of good budget beginner brushes. Mostly in the US. You get them over here, but they're big US brushes. In the UK and Europe, you've got Sparmax, which are kind of similar, but they always stick around the budget and beginner level. They never go up to the harder and Steenbeck sort of budget, or they do occasionally, but not very often. But Sparmax, they're made in the same factory as Iwata by the same people. So they are really good quality, and they're good starter brushes. The only thing I'd say is if you're looking for a brush, make sure it's gravity fed, so the cup is on the top. Don't go for one on the side or bottom because they're just a pain in the bum. And consider whether you want a button on the top or a trigger, which is less hassle if you've got anything like me. I've got funky fingers. If you've got arthritis or limited mobility, you might want to try a trigger instead. I find it gives me greater control, but you can do buttons. But all you need to think about is dual action and cup on top. Kind of all you need to worry about when you're just starting out.
Dave Cardboard says, I've been watching Porridge. Can't believe there was only about 20 of them. I thought there were loads. All of these old TV shows, you always think there's dozens and dozens of episodes and it went on for years. And then you look it up and there's only they made 7 episodes or something.
Yeah. All I've got now is Mr. Mackay going, Fletcher. Now then, Fletcher. The tortoise was called Topov in Pipkin.
I was, yeah, top.
And it was called Pipkins because the first few episodes of the first season had a guy running the store called Inigo Pipkin, who was a puppet maker, but he died halfway through the second season. And they actually wrote that into the story. This is a program for 5 to 7-year-olds, and they wrote in him dying in 10 years before Mr. Hooper in Sesame Street. Amazing.
Dave Cadmore mentioned UF4. Now, I caught on Forces TV, I think it was last night, Space 1999.
Season 1, great. Season 2, terrible.
See, yeah, it was season 1. It was horrendous. It was
horrendous, but brilliant in horrendous. Horrendous in a brilliant way.
Yeah, there were really plastic models flying through the air on bits of string. And
Robert's just put Fraggle Rock in my head. Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, with Wembley and Doozers and
Wembley. Yeah, I've said this before, but when I was at school, I was at secondary school when Fraggle Rock was on telly, and if you remember, the Doozers made things out of clear plastic rods. So whenever we had chemistry lesson, every boy in the class stole all the glass stirring rods completely all the time.
And what did you make out of it?
Nothing. We just had massive collections of glass stirring rods because we had to glue them together with.
I did find out that this last weekend was actually the 35th anniversary of the last Starfighter.
Good God, really?
And that scared me. It's like 35 years old.
That car was brilliant.
The car was brilliant.
There is a model kit. Well, there was a model kit of that car, but I think it was a garage kit.
It was sort of a DeLorean type shape.
Yeah, but it
wasn't. But the I can't remember the name of the ship. The Gunstar, is it?
Gunstar, yeah.
That was a brilliant design of ship, but it didn't. The graphics don't really hold up.
No, but you can see how it was revolutionary at the time.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Oh yeah, you can look back on it with a fondness for. I mean, if I remember rightly, the first movie to actually use CGI in a proper way was actually Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. For the whole Genesis device sequence where it goes to the planet, that was the first proper use of CGI in a movie, apparently. Anyway, guys, it's 10 o'clock. Do I need to do some screen sharing and some pointing and talking?
I think
you've got some things. Yeah,
we had a look for what's in store.
We got the what's in store this week. I have.
You have got it.
Oh, right. So everybody will probably get it after the first two sort of.
Yes, after the first one, probably known Foxes.
Yeah.
So it's what's in store, as always.
I'll lock it on.
Hey, what?
You're locked on.
You can do the talky bit and the whole twisty thing and stuff, everything.
I've got to do all of it, haven't I? God, you guys just sit back and relax for a bit. Drink your
I might go and have a pot noodle.
Oh, go make a Marmite and peanut butter sandwich. Put back. If you've not done this before, you've all done it before. You know how it works. I'm going to start again. Let me hang on. Stop.
Yeah, backwards.
Go around. Lubricate. Yes, I'm going to show you some stuff that's in store. There will be a theme, but there will also be some red herrings. There'll be potentially one or more red herrings in there, so which means I was just kind of picking stuff and I got a bit carried away. So there are some red herrings. So there you go. It'll be really easy. But yes, by this point in the show, though, there's a lag between the video and the chat. So before you do anything, because we're going to go off whoever gets the answer first, before we do anything, you need to refresh your browser, press the refresh button, and drag the slider. So refresh and drag. Refresh and drag. And you're going to be playing for a speedboat, a cutlery set, and an eModel sticker.
Hello, what you could have won.
Yeah, possibly not the speedboat or the cutlery set. That's made up. One of the three things is accurate. So this is for a big sticker. What we'll do is I'll go through everything. Don't answer what you think the theme is. If you get it after the first two items, don't answer, because we're going to ignore every answer that goes in chat until I say at the end of it, what's the theme? Go. So if anybody answers before that, we'll totally ignore it. And remember, just because you're first in chat on your computer doesn't mean you're actually first in chat, because YouTube puts the chat in the order that YouTube receives the comments. You see your computer differently. So if you're first on yours, doesn't mean you're actually first. So don't get upset if we choose someone and it's not you because you're first on your computers. Anyway, I should have a screen share.
Just put in your graphic for your click and drag, your rotate and drag.
You did. I like that. Now, before I do what's in store, I also need to do the fact of the day. While I've got you, and you've got no choice.
What's the fact of the day, Fox?
The fact of the day, on this day in 1410, I'm going to get told off by all the Norwegian and Danish.
Yeah.
This day in 1410, the Battle of Grunwald, the first Battle of Tannenberg, a Battle of Zalgiris, one of medieval Europe's largest battles during Poland-Lithuanian Teutonic War. Nobody's ever heard of any of these. The Polish king Władysław Jagiello, probably not Jagiello, and Lithuanian Grand Duke Vytautas defeated the Teutonic Ulrich von Jungingen. There you go.
Did you just go through and Google which has the most words that I can't say?
Yeah, you just want to show off, really.
I love the way it's one of Europe's biggest battles that nobody's ever heard of. It's fantastic. Anyway, let's do a screen share. Let's get this bit up here. I shall start off with the screen sharing. Can you now see my screen, gentlemen?
We can.
Yeah, so everybody drag. Let's get busy. Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. So, first off, we have, first thing tonight is Tamiya mechanical fish. There we go. It's a silly thing. It's a good little project. My little nephews, when they were much younger, before we got them into building things, they used to absolutely lap up all the little mechanical kits you could get. Like the Tamiya do things like they make little mechanical creatures and dinosaurs, and you get the Airfix do the jet engines and things like that. If you've got a young kid and you're trying to get them into things like robotics or engineering or just pique that interest, little things like this are really good ideas. And this is the mechanical fish. Not really much to say. It just wiggles the fin around and it swims.
I seem to remember that Action Man had an outboard engine that was powered by that motor.
Yeah, they used to have it was the guy in the diving suit, I think, had that as well. There was something to make him wiggle his legs.
It doesn't look much like a fish.
No, it's got an eye. It's got an eye there. It's got a big giant red nose, but it has a relaxed swimming action. And you're basically making a small swimming robot. So a bit of fun, 15 quid. It's good if you're trying to encourage your youngster into the more, let's say, engineering side of life. You're trying to get your kid interested in science or engineering, anything like that, which is a good thing to do. Because too many kids nowadays are growing up dumb. Get your kid interested. While the brain is plastic and they can learn things, get them interested in science and technology and space and all the things. Just feed their brains. So there you go. Mechanical fish is brain food for your children. Or you might just want to make a mechanical fish yourself.
Phil Lewis says, that's the red herring, but it's white.
Hey! Well, technically, even the red herring, one of the red herrings in this lot tonight is actually technically still correct, but I'll explain because it's a red herring. Never mind. Next, we have the Trumpeter 148, the de Havilland DH11. Let's start that again. De Havilland DH110 C Vixen FAO2. Now, this is 148 scale, so you can assume it's going to have a nice bigness to it. It's Trumpeter, so it's going to be fantabulous quality. It looks awesome. It's one of them classic. Is it 60s or it's going to be 50s, isn't it? 50s and 60s.
Yeah, about 50s, 60s. This I would think.
50s design, 60s service.
They were pretty awesome looking, weren't they? They were they looked like a jet.
Yeah, planes nowadays are boring. It's like cars nowadays are boring. Everything's boring nowadays. Let's go back to the old way of doing things. But yeah, 148 scale, so it's going to be a nice big kit. Let's just have a quick look and see. It is a Trumpeter, like I say. Let's have a look. That's historical stuff. De Havilland Red Top AAM air-to-air missiles. I can't believe they've typed AAM and then also air-to-air missiles. That's like saying
there was. I'm sure there was a single fuselage one as well as Civics and something like that.
Is it a variant of the Lightning?
I'm sure there was one without the twin tail.
Yeah, but it didn't look anywhere near as cool. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Is that AAM air-to-air missile? I was like asking somebody for their PIN number.
Yeah, so it has de Havilland Red Top AAM air-to-air, which is basically saying air-to-air missiles. I don't know. Let's have a look. But no information on the actual kit itself. I don't think it doesn't say if it comes with a photo etch. I don't think it doesn't show it. So I'm going to guess it possibly doesn't. Or maybe it does with the spruce. I didn't know you could scroll this. Rolling. Wow. Oh, it does come with photo etch. Look. Bam, bam, bam. So there you go. 56 quid. That's why you get photo etch. It looks like it's going to make up to be a big, fat kit. It's a twin cockpit. I like the offset cockpits as well. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
That's one for the pilot and one for the BBC presenter, obviously. It's one for Professor Brian Cox to sit in the co-pilot seat. So yeah, if you like your aircraft and you like your classic British aircraft, that's kind of a classic early jet days, isn't it? Even I can appreciate that. Modern planes, boring.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat. That. Oh.
Yeah, when that was flying around, I like the blue stuff on the back, the kind of the lines and patterns. When that was flying around, Ted was but a young 40-year-old.
Yeah, I remember seeing them. I think I remember seeing them.
Yeah.
What was the aircraft about that era where the pilot sat in his cockpit and the navigator sat in a little hole in the fuselage?
That's what that. I can't really zoom in, but that's what that looks like.
Yeah, no, I don't think the navigator even had a window. He was just shutting.
No. Well, just as far as I can tell on the painting, he looks like he's facing backwards anyway. That must suck. Wow, imagine sitting in the car facing the wrong way. Oh no!
Especially if you're the navigator. It's like, yeah, that was the road you were meant to take.
Oh, he went the wrong way. So there you go. So that's the Trumpeter 148 de Havilland DH1110. Well, I can't say that number. DH110 C Vixen. It's a Vixen, therefore I like it anyway. Next up, we have. I've got to do it. Yes, it's the human tooth. It's back in stock.
It's what scale is this one? Then 8 to 1.
8 to 1. Now I have to say, not that I'm saying anything, but this is the third item. Yes, it's the human tooth. Now you might laugh and think, "Oh God, I've got to put it in." Come on, it's my what's in store. But last time we had this and I showed this, it actually sold out, so that it interested enough people. So yes, the human tooth is an 8 to 1 scale model of the human tooth. I need to say nothing more. There is nothing in the description because who needs to have any more information? You can get all the information you need. It's a hinged tooth. It's awesome. You need to buy one. You can Warhammer it up if you want to.
The hinge bit is not realistic.
Yeah, that's a bit artificial. Now, don't forget, of course, if any of these tickle your fancy, especially the human tooth, because I know you're all going to jump all over it. If any of these tickle your fancy, don't just put it in the tab and leave it to the end of the show. We don't know how many of these they've got in stock. And if everybody else wants it, it's going to go, because until you've paid for it, it's not yours and it can be taken out of your shopping basket. Because, Ted, what do they need to do?
You need to slap it in your basket.
And then what do they need to do?
Check it out. It's not yours until you check it out.
There you go. Mind the gap, please. Doors on my left. Yes. So if anything tickles your fancy, there may only be 2 or 3 in stock. If you really want something that we show, just get it while you're watching and snag it and ship it. Even if you do 2 or 3 orders, don't worry about it. You can get them to ship them all together.
As Dave Cardboard says, if you like this one, check out the Pumping Heart.
Pumping Heart. Yes, Lindbergh do a selection of body parts, as I've shown in what's in store. But I couldn't not show this because somebody mentioned it in chat. So whoever mentioned it in chat, it's your fault.
I did notice that somebody mentioned it in chat, and then you mysteriously went and edited your what's in store. So I thought, oh dear, what's he going to do?
Yeah. So there we go. It's the Lindbergh human tooth 8 to 1 scale. You'll never make a model that has the numbers that way around.
Kevin says you could Warhammer it up.
Yeah. Yep. You could add skulls. Next up, we have the Caesar Miniatures 1/72 scale Sea Peoples. Not Sea People, Sea Peoples. Biblical era Egyptian enemy. I have no idea.
They're like Vikings. There's a Viking ship in the background.
I know, that's like possibly one of the worst paintings I've ever seen in my entire life of any kind of human. There is a Viking ship in the background, these ancient Egyptians that look kind of white Caucasian, and have got basically one of them's got kitchenware on his head. I think one's wearing a chef hat. Yeah, somebody needs to maybe try and learn about the Egyptians a bit, I think. I have no information at all.
Yeah, fine.
They're people and they're on the sea. What more do you need?
They are a biblical era Egyptian enemy. So if you're playing your tabletop games and you're playing ancient Egypt, you would clearly want to get a load of sea peoples to be your enemies on the table.
I see how they put it. The sea peoples. Not people.
That's what I love. It's the peoples. That's why I picked this one, because I looked at it and thought, peoples, I'm having that.
Now, it's £7.38. Does it say there's 42 figures in there?
42 figures, yep. I have no other information. But there are a number of different Sea Peoples kits in store, from individuals to sets. So Sea Peoples must be a bit of a thing.
You could Warhammer them up.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't quite see. I still don't really know where the Viking longship comes from.
Phil Lewis says, I think they were the enemies of the Egyptians.
Yes, because they're in a biblical era Egyptian enemy.
And Lord Bartley III says, previously on Lost.
Previously on that, yeah. I love the fact that one of them's wearing a chef hat and one's wearing like a modern armed forces helmet with horns.
Is that not them things with the teeny boppers with the little springs in them?
Yeah, I really don't know. I love the fact that these tiny manufacturers, these little companies that make small kits, they don't know how to paint things. It's fantastic. I love them, shonky artwork. But
I can't see the Egyptians running far when you see people like that running up the beach.
well, they're all kind of voguing for a start, which doesn't really help. But yes, if you're into historical battles, anything like historical tabletop battles, there do seem to be a big selection of like Sea People's kits in 1/72 scale. So if you're looking at doing historical battles, why not pit your 18th century Napoleonic forces against hundreds of Sea Peoples and see what happens?
Phil Lewis says the one in blue is wearing a shower cap.
Yeah, roll a d6 for initiative and see they might. You never know.
Kevin says that his Warhammer It Up comment was in laughing at Fox's offhand comment of the same, but I wasn't listening to Fox. So
he never listened. I don't remember. So there you go. So some Sea Peoples. Next up, we have FX 1/32 scale Monty's Humber.
I remember building this as a kid.
Yeah, General Montgomery's famously travelled in his Humber Snipe 4x2 4-seat open tourer, both in North African campaigns. It's a 1/32 scale, 131 parts, skill level 2, flying hours 2, because I think you get like mileage points with Airfix now, don't you? Requires painting, yes. Yeah. So it's an old vintage World War II car. You can't really go wrong. We used to have a Humber when my dad was a kid. He used to have a Humber.
Vincent has some update on the Sea Peoples.
Oh, yes?
He says the Sea Peoples wiped out one dynasty or another, but nobody's found any clear indication where they came from, except for descriptions of how they looked. And if that was descriptions of how they looked, I wouldn't trust them.
Did they wear shower caps and like chef helmets and
shower caps and chef's hats?
Chef's hats. I like the way they're advanced enough to have like a shield and a sword, but they just walk around in a towel.
No kind well, he just got out of the shower.
Yeah, I was singing and everything. I was doing my Madonna bit, and Anyway, yes. So yes, Monty's Humber. I suspect they didn't really go quite as fast as that painting makes out. That's a real action painting. I don't know if you get figures. Oh, it does say it comes with the famous general dressed in his well-known battle dress and beret, along with his dedicated driver.
Yeah, I remember this car because he's got his own windscreen in the back on the back seat.
Oh yeah,
right.
It'd be like a little bulletproof thing.
I don't know. Like a little Pokemobile.
Yeah, but I do have a soft spot. When I was a kid, the guy at the end of our road used to have a garage full of old vintage cars that, to me, as a kid in the 70s, were vintage cars. But I realise now they were only as old as my car is now. So it's like, okay, yeah. So there you go, Monty's Humber, a nice little project. You could do all kinds of things with that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I like old vintage cars. 132nd as well, so a nice big car. Next up, we have. We're gonna go a couple of pricey ones now, a couple of top tier ones. We're gonna have. You knew I was gonna do this.
I broke out into a sweat.
Yeah, it's the 1/200 scale RMS Titanic 03713. It's the new big hotness from Trumpeter.
Oh, it's a pre-order. So
yep, it's a pre-order. It's not available yet, but obviously they're gonna go like hotcakes. Remember when the 148th U-boat came out and that sold out like instantly. So every now and then, Trumpets do their big, massive museum quality pieces, and this is the new hotness that you all want Ted to build.
Yeah,
but we never actually featured it on what's in store, so I thought we'd better feature
it. I know. I do know a little bit about this. I know that it was actually due for release to be out now, but apparently, I believe that Trump would have taken it back to the drawing board because there's been one or two issues and things pointed out. Yeah.
Well, they heard that Ted was busy doing other things, so there's no point in releasing it until he's ready to do it.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea of size, the people in this photograph are 42 feet tall, so it's quite significant. You've got oodles of details. Obviously, this is not final because they say, like Ted says, they'll be making some changes. Again, it's a Trumpeter kit, so it's going to be incredible. It's going to have stupid, crazy details all over it and lots of photo etch because Trumpeter like the photo etch. It will work out to be the largest consumer model of the Titanic in the most detailed 200 scale. Let's start that again. The most detailed and accurate 200 scale Titanic model available to the consumer. It's museum grade quality, and then it comes with the museum grade price. So that's one of your dream kits. It will come with 1,280 plus parts. Has an anchor chain in metal. It has 7 sheets of photo etch and 19 sprues, hull and decks, which is why you pay the big bucks because it's a big kit. Like Ted said before, when you get this kind of kit and you think it's a lot of money, it's like 20 kits in one. So. Absolutely, you'll never build anything like this. Like Ted's U-boat. I mean, how would you explain? How have you felt building that U-boat, Ted? Think positive now. Positive thoughts.
Yeah, the U-boat, the U-boat's been an epic build, but it's been a fantastic, enjoyable build, and I would think that the Titanic will be just as enjoyable. However, I believe that the Titanic will come as a full hull and not built in sections, so you're going to need the space to dedicate to it. Or otherwise, you're just going to be like I have with the U-boat. You're just going to be living around it all the time.
Yep, it's 1,347 millimeters long, or 134.7 centimeters.
So it's about as long as a U-boat, so it's going to be about
3 or 4 feet. Yeah,
4 feet long. Yeah.
But it's one of those things. It's you look at the big price and think, oh, but then you think, no, but this is months and months of enjoyment. It's going to be incredible when you finish it. So it's one of those special treat ones worth saving up for. But if you are in the range for getting one, get it pre-ordered.
Yeah, but as you said, that's about 10 kits worth in there. So that's what, £35 worth of kit each.
Yeah, so, exactly. So that's like 10 military miniatures.
Yeah, lots of comments on this one. Phil Lewis says they think it has a weakness against icebergs. And Anders says, will it actually have lifeboats?
Yeah, no, they can't. They've got to make it accurate. Maybe
Michael Jackman says he's going to have to put lights in it.
Oh, you've got to put lights on it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be a lovely model to light up. Be fantastic.
I'm pretty sure you can get 1/200 scale figures as well.
And you won't have to do any weathering on it either.
Nope.
Dave Cardboard says Tesco sell iceberg for 90p.
There you go. Yeah, just make it and put it next to a real big lettuce.
Phil Lewis says, so the Titanic was sunk by a giant lettuce. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Anyway, moving on. So there's a big special treat one. We're going to do another big special treat one. And we're going to move on to the Meg Productions Bronkatter, the BK1125. And if you remember, a few months ago, we showed the model version of this that was the abandoned, slightly half-sunken Bronkatter.
Oh, yeah.
This is the actual kit of the ship itself that's not abandoned. It's the Soviet motorboat, the BK1125. It's a cast resin model kit, not plastic, hence the price. It's cast resin. And it's going to be, if you've built resin kits, you know they are just absolutely fantastic for detail over and above plastic kits. They're a lot more challenging. There are a lot more time and dedication required. You've got to really take your time with them, but the end results can be fantastic. It is 1/35th scale. And so, of course, you get figures with it, but you can get 1/35th scale figures from all kinds of sources. Let's have a look. The resin casting is top quality, with the large hull and deck section being perfectly without any warping, and the smaller parts free of any air holes or other blemishes. More information on the kit, not on the kit, but look at that. I think
I would be thinking for this price, it will be quality control before it's released, and not just like a garage.
It's the kind of thing, because it's a resin kit. It's going to be, obviously, it says they're limited edition. By its nature, it's going to be limited edition, because resin kits, they can only make so many before the molds become useless. So if this does tickle your fancy, they may well, I mean, I don't know how many they're going to make. They may well only make, say, 500 of them. It's not unusual for a resin kit to have a run of 500 or maybe 1,000 at most. Unless you're Forge World, in which case you just milk it till they're no longer even recognizable. But for proper resin kits, you might have runs of 250, 500 or 1,000. So if it has tickled your fancy and it's in your budget range.
Yeah, especially, as Foxx says, especially such detail that the molds are going to wear out fairly quick.
Yeah.
Unless you've got the money to sort of put back into making further molds, it's going to be limited.
It's one of those things that they'll do so many, and then once it's done, that's it. They won't make any more. There's no point, because molds only last so long. It's not like a plastic kit where they can use the mold over and over and over again for decades. This kind of thing, 250, 500, maybe 1,000 at the most is probably the kind of. I don't know for sure, so don't quote me.
Is it a large kit? I know it's 1/35th, but I don't know how big the actual boat is. Does it say a size? Or
it doesn't have a size. But if you look at it's unfortunately a small picture, but if you look at the railing around the side, perhaps you might get an idea of how tall. Imagine that railing's maybe 2/3 of a person's height. Probably, I'm going to guess it's probably a good 2 or 3 feet long, if not a bit more.
Looking at the guy's hand there, it's looking about 2 feet long, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's going to be, I mean, like the Titanic will be a good few months. This will take even longer because it's resin. You're going to have to take your time. But it will make up to be a fantastically beautiful.
For those that are wondering, you wouldn't need Tamiya extra thin for this. You'd need super glue and epoxy resin.
Yep, epoxy resin, super glue. You're going to be pinning things together and making braces and things out of the bits of leftover resin. You can have
model maker's model.
Yeah, get yourself some of the Ammo by Mig rigging set as well to get all the little wires and cables. You can have good fun with that. So again, it's a special treat one. We like to show the expensive special treats every now and then because sometimes you want something to work towards. Last one, we have you've all forgotten by now what the theme will be. The Vallejo water texture acrylic. This one is Pacific blue. They do a number of different water textures and different shades of blues and greens. These are basically a thing to give, if you've done like a resin water diorama, or you've just painted the base and you want to get a water effect, you slap it on a bit like Mod Podge, but it's got a tint to it. You can mix them with other ones and it just gives you this kind of a watery surface effect. Nice bright colours, and it's just to give texture and ripples and things like that. And you can mix them all together. They've got lots of different colours. So if you're looking at doing water in your diorama, like standing water or like ripply water for your ocean things, go and have a look at this stuff. It looks quite cool. I love that colour. It's almost ultramarine blue. So before I go ahead, and it's been a long one, this, but I'll go quickly through again. Remember, there is a theme. So we had the Tamir mechanical fish. Remember, there are red herrings in here. We had the trumpeter. I've not got my menu discipline. The trumpeter de Havilland Sea Vixen. We have the Lindbergh Tooth. Yes, just buy that anyway. We have the People of the Sea. Shrimps are like the idiots of the sea. We have the Airfix Monty's Humber. We have the trumpeter Titanic. We have the MiG Productions Bronicata. I don't know how you pronounce that. There's probably a better way. And also the Vallejo Water Texture Pacific Blue. So I shall stop screen sharing and I shall say to the crowds, if you can unlock it off me, Ted, I shall say, that's
It's
not how
unlocked.
screen sharing. What is the theme? Go.
Oh,
I've wrote, hang on. How do
I think I worked it out, but I couldn't see where the tooth fit in.
Hang on, I've actually broken my screen now. Can I just...
It's working. Well, the rest of it's working.
I'm going to have to refresh, but I'm not going anywhere, don't worry.
Yeah. No, we don't know the answer. So
Yeah, we sort of know the
I am
answer,
back.
but I'm going to let
I am
Fox go
back.
through and choose his winning answer.
Right, have you guys been watching the chat?
I've just had a look. Phil Lewis said cricket.
I don't like cricket.
Right answer.
Let's have a look. The first person with the correct answer is Max Prime with C. Yes, it was sea or ocean was the theme for tonight. Dead easy. So Max Prime, well done. You have got yourself a big fat sticker. All you need to do is simply send an email to ted@emodels.co.uk and say that you want a big sticker. Put it in the title of your email so Ted can filter through the inbox. And we'll send you a big sticker if you send us your name and address. Well done.
Yeah, I'm hoping, unfortunately I didn't get to the post office last week. I'm hoping to get to the post office this week. So get some more stickers sent out.
Yes.
Stickers.
Well, there you go. It wasn't all silly, was it? I don't always do silly stuff. I did the tooth, but I had to do the tooth.
Who's saying it next week?
Where does
I don't know. It's yours or Ted's. It's one of the two of you.
I think it's your turn, isn't it, Fox?
It's not mine.
I don't know.
Yes.
Is it my turn next week?
where does the tooth fit in then?
The tooth was a red herring because it's got nothing to do with the sea. However, Monty's Humber was going to be a red herring, but if it's a red herring, a herring comes from the sea. So even the red herrings are not...
No, well, you could have the Humber, which is a sea
a
area.
river into the sea. Yeah.
Oh,
Tenuous, that's Chris level tenuous, that is.
yeah. I was thinking snipe, but that's a bird. It's not a fish.
But is a snipe a water
No, it doesn't have to be. No, I've researched it to find out.
It can be what it wants to be.
I think Fox has just got away with taking some random things and making a theme out of it.
Yes. I can't remember where I actually first saw. I think I first searched for fish. I first did a search for fish and just got like 35 different kits of a fairy swordfish. I'm like, well, that's good. I thought I could just show 7 different fairy swordfish kits. What's the theme? Swordfish. I have to do that now. I make deliveries forget. Anyway, Chris, I think it's your turn now, isn't it?
I think it might be my turn.
I shall shut up for a bit now.
I shall prepare myself for next week's what's in store. So get yourself thinking and ready, and prepare yourself.
Anyway, the next giveaway, we'll do another giveaway before we wrap up for this evening, and we'll give a mug away, shall we?
Well, we've got to do. Do you want to do that first, or do last week's giveaway?
Oh, shall we mention last week's giveaway, or 2 weeks ago giveaway, so that gives them a chance to comment quickly before we
go for it.
On.
Go for it.
Last time last time on
On
eModels,
Last time on Lost.
we gave away a thing. It was a 1/72 Sukhoi Su-33. So we'll give that away in a bit. But to do that, you had to comment on the last video, which was dated 2 weeks ago. It was the one that says Monday, the 1st of the 7th.
Yep. I've got no idea what the comment was you're supposed to put.
Make sure you put a comment on there of something, and if you win, you'll win the thing. So do that while you're doing the other thing and multitask.
Yeah, we've got a few minutes while we do other bits.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the comment is, just comment on it.
Put a comment, a nice
Family
comment.
friendly, of course. Because it's going to pop up on screen if you get win, so don't be putting rude words.
So while you're doing that, we'll give away some other things. We'll give away a mug.
What do you want to do? Do you want to do a mug, Ted, or stickers?
We'll give away a mug because we've already advertised that. Well, a mug, the eModels famous mug.
Mugtacular!
The mugs, the version 2 mug with the little Mr. E mug there. Right, I think we do have some questions in the mailbag this week. Right.
Remember, these are going to be whoever answers first. So again, if you want to win, just remember that just because your answer is first on your screen doesn't mean it's actually first in the actual YouTube chat. We see the chat the way if you go back and watch the video later on when it's finished, we see the chat like that. So that's how we pick someone that's not first. Now remember, if you've already got a mug, you are more than welcome to have another one. You can have as many mugs as you like. If you've got one and you want another one, feel free to join in. You can have another mug. If you've already got a mug and you don't want another mug, don't answer the question because then it just gets kind of confusing and fiddly. So if you don't want the mug, you've already got one, don't answer. Let somebody else have a chance.
Yeah.
You can have 15 of them if you want, if you win 15 times.
Yeah, you can get as many as you want for making up a dinner service so that when you have guest rounds for dinner, you can serve them all.
And you can suggest eModels plates and you never know.
If you get like 12 of them, you can go on a train and you can stack them up on the table like you pretend you're a squaddy, but you're doing it with coffee cups, not beer cans. Maybe not.
Anyway, moving on, we'll do the question for the mug. And the question this week comes courtesy of Andy Dalton. And he says, hi Ted, here's another as child of the 60s, and it's really close to his heart. The question is, celebrating the 50th year of the Apollo 11 moon landing. His question, a bit random this, but how he knows, but we'll take your answer because we don't Google.
We don't check. We're far too lazy.
His question is, what was the number of the helicopter that recovered the Apollo 11 crew after splashdown? Not the model of the heli, but the ID number printed on the side of the helicopter. What number was it? Go.
While everybody's answering, a very quick question from Michael Brown. He says, would extra thin fog up clear plastic? Shall I stick with PVA? Don't use any kind of cement on clear plastic. Always use either PVA glue or Revell canopy glue. Use a specific canopy, Revell Contactor Clear or Revell Contactor Canopy Glue or PVA. Don't ever use plastic cements. They will fog up the glass.
Yep. And we've got an answer. We've got the first person with the right answer is Phil Kett. And the answer was, as you see there, 66.
Yeah.
Two fat ladies, 66.
66. Right, yeah, and it goes on. There's a new kit launched on eModels, the Teleri 172nd SH3D seeking Apollo recovery.
Lovely.
So, well done, Phil. Email us at ted@emodels.co.uk.
Yep.
Tell us you won a mug.
Say in the title that you've won a mug. Remember, if you win a sticker, we send those out to you guys eventually. If you win a mug, we forward your details on to eModels, and then they send them out from themselves. So we pass those on. So you'll get them a lot quicker than you get the stickers from us.
Yeah, well done. Right, so we'll do some sticker giveaways, double sticker giveaway. Yeah.
A sticker and another
just
sticker.
watching Mama Fox destroy ornaments on the shelf.
Yay.
Are you knocking things off shelves?
I knocked the film off the blind.
Mama Fox is knocking things off shelves as she comes up the stairs.
You'll be fine.
She's wrecking the house. Bless.
How's your spider, Fox? Is it still there?
It's gone now. I can't see it, so it doesn't exist.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, what it's doing now, it's waiting in the corner and growing.
Yeah, it's only tiny. It's ickle tiny. I don't mind ickle tiny ones.
Yeah, but they start off like that, and then by the time you go to bed,
Yeah, by the time you find them again, they're that big.
Yeah.
and there's 12 of them.
It's like when you always say, it's always a miracle when you think, I always seem to find the spider just where I need to catch it. It's like, yeah, it's the ones you don't see. Are we doing stickers?
We are.
Remember, you get both. This is for the big sticker and the little sticker together.
A matched set.
Simon Payne says he used to know the guy who invented the fuel cell that went up in the Apollo spacecraft.
Cool.
He's unfortunately passed away now.
No. Right, stickers.
Stickers. Right, I was just having a look. Another question from Andy Dalton. It's about cricket.
I don't like cricket.
Yeah, well, now this one we really don't know the answer because we don't check and we don't know anything about sport either.
I don't know how cricket works.
He asks, cricket World Cup question. The first matches, maybe you have to Google the answer for this one. The first matches of the first World Cup took place on June the 7th, 1975. On this day, in June 7th, 1975, which batsman scored 171 not out? Go.
I couldn't see that question, so I don't know the answer.
I don't know. Anyway.
Which batsman scored 171 not out on the June 7th, 1975 in the Cricket World Cup? It was New Zealand, by the way.
We've got answers coming up, but I don't know if they're right.
Oh, Bruce, New Zealand? Yeah.
Maybe some of the cricket guys out there might know this one.
Devon, Malcolm, Vav Richards, Ernie, Dave, Botham, Viv Richards, Beefy Botham, Kit 1403, Eric.
Bill.
That boy with the hair.
There we go. Anders Eriksson, Glenn Turner.
Ah.
Yeah. So, did you know that one, Anders, or did you Google it? Glenn Turner made 171 not out against East Africa at Birmingham. On the same day, Dennis Amiss, England, made 137, etc. And it goes on with lots of detail as our.
Birmingham. All right. Well done. So send us an email, ted@emodels.co.uk, say in the subject what you won, just double stickers, and we'll get those out to you sometime before the next solar eclipse, maybe.
When's the next solar eclipse?
I should have said next solar eclipse before.
We'll get your stickers out to you eventually, Anders, as well. So, I know you.
If you are actually waiting on other stickers, because like Ted and I say, it's normally Ted that does it, but sometimes I do it. Neither of us live anywhere near a post office, so we only get to go to the post office to post stuff out once in a blue moon. So if you have run a sticker in the past and you've been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, don't panic. We've got all the emails in the inbox. We know who needs stickers. We'll just get them out to you. And if you're waiting for 13, we'll send you all 13 in one go. So you will get them eventually. We're just a bit rubbish. We're old. We're old.
Yeah, especially if they live abroad, because the postage is a bit more. Yeah, got to save up for that.
Especially these ones, because nobody makes envelopes that fit them perfectly. So,
Anders says you can hand them over to him at Scale Models World in November. It's a deal. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, if you do any stickers between now and November.
Yeah, just take 1,000 stickers with you, Ted, because there's going to be a lot of people like that.
Just take a box.
Yeah.
Right. So before we wrap up, should we do the giveaway from last week?
Indeed, yes. That's my department, isn't it?
Do you want to lock it on Chris Ted? Right, Chris Ted, is that like Puppy Cat?
Right. Oh, is Chris doing this? Right, I'll lock it on Chris.
Chris is doing this one.
You can lock it on Foxx if you like. I don't mind it.
It might not work though.
Yeah. We could describe it using interpretive dance.
So, oh God. Remember, folks, if you haven't put a comment on the video from the week before last yet, then now you're SOL. It's too late. If Chris has loaded up this thing and he's going to refresh it, on that, you ain't got no chance to win, no nothing neither.
I've got to find the thing though. Where is it?
Oh, maybe not
somewhere. I've got it.
Okay, you've got a minute. It's all gone wrong.
I can see it. There it is. Look, I'll share that one. I found a picture. Look. It's just like no. There's a much more intense look on your face than that.
I'm going. It's made of particles.
This was last week's or the week before, in fact, video thingy. So I shall be grabbing the.
Careful what you're grabbing there. I'm a very delicate flower.
I shall be grabbing the title of the thing. This is what we're giving away. I had that there as well. Look.
Oh, menu.
A menu. Giving you a free menu. Look, all the menus. They're very quick, aren't they? Look. Yes, the Revel 172nd Sukhoi Su-33 Navy flanker. Lovely. £26.99, but free to the winner of this random comment. Yeah, you can paint it and make it look nice.
I don't understand that colour scheme. I don't understand it.
It's for ocean camouflage.
There's the sea version and there's a ground version as well.
Yeah, I just made that up, but it seems I'm right.
Is it not just the paint they happen to have at the time?
It might be
left over because it's Russian in it. So
you can buy. I think Hataka do a paint set for that as well.
Oh, they do a paint set for lots of things.
Right. I shall paste in that filter users because people might put in more than one and it stops you doing that.
You're doing the action packed comment picker, aren't you?
I found this one. I know Foxx likes his one with the picture of the girlie on it that isn't there anymore.
You have to watch out for that advert where there's a start button because that's not the right start button.
No, it's not that one. I'm going to do this one.
I hate that the way you've
not that one. That one. Yeah. Start raffle and pick random winner. So are you watching? Are you ready?
Are you doing a countdown?
No, I'm just going to click it.
Countdown from 32.
Clicked it, and there's all the people. You didn't win. You didn't win. You didn't win. You didn't win. You didn't win.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Phil Kett did win.
Phil Kett again.
Phil Kett again. Wow. Well, there you go, Phil Kett. Well done.
And he says Canada has the longest coastline in the world, with 202,080 kilometers, or 125,567 miles.
Although
we don't know that's true.
There is a mathematical problem that says you can never actually fully measure the coastline of anywhere on Earth, because the more grainy you get, the more in grade detail you go, the more you can never measure it.
I thought it was somewhere like Norway because of all the crinkly bits.
The wiggly bits.
Do you think they stand on a coastline? I think it's about a mile up there. That'll do.
Yeah,
that's close enough. I shall stop the sharing and come back to you.
Phil?
Phil Kett won. So yes, send us another email.
What? Just all you need to do, Phil, is send an email again to ted@emodels.co.uk. But Chris, can you read out the number for the thing so he knows which one he's won?
The thing, yes, you have won the Sukhoi Su-33, which is number 03911.
Hashtag 03911. Just say that in the email. We'll send that off to the guys at eModels, and they'll get one sent out to you. Well done.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. And what we'll do, we'll ask the guys to include all your stickers as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's an idea. Yeah, say how many stickers you owed. Tell them how many stickers you owed, and also say in there that we need to delete all the mails that are asking for stickers so the guys can send them to you, and we'd have to do it.
and if we can get them to send you the stickers for everyone else that needs stickers, and then you can send them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do in future. If you win a sticker, you get sent everybody else's stickers when you've got to send them out. Yeah. So then you send them on to the next person.
Take one and pass it on.
Because when we first started doing this, we'd had no intention of us sending out the stickers. So we said, why don't we send out stickers? And then like a few days later, me and Ted got big fat envelopes full of lots of stickers, and we're like, oh, we're doing that then. Okay.
Yeah, I've got to save my pocket money up to send them out. Anyway,
so well done, Phil. Make sure to send pictures to eModels. They can put them on the Facebook page. No update on the gallery side of things yet. That's still something they're working on. It's not part of the website software. So.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up for this evening. So, everybody, for all your winnings and things and all the rest of it. But thank you very much for joining us again this Monday night. We will be back next week. Everything hopefully working and things like that. I just before we came on tonight, I actually bust the computer.
Yeah, you jammed things in holes, didn't you?
Jammed things in holes, and the whole hole fell out.
You have been out at sea, Ted, tonight, haven't you? You just everyone's been watching a blank screen on Ted's screen. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, you know how it takes 3 attempts to get a USB socket in. Ted did 4. That's what went wrong. Yeah. That went wrong from them.
Yeah, so why is it with USB plugs that they're never the right way around?
It is. It's always the right way around first, and then you do it wrong, and then you go back and it fits.
I read an interview with the guy that designed the USB format plug, and he actually said in the interview that his life's biggest regret is not making them just either way round plugs. He said that's the biggest career regret I've ever got, is that I made them so they have to go in one way, and then because he says everybody in the world hates me now.
Well, apparently it was a cost thing. It was easy to make them both ways, but it cost a few pence more per plug, and they just said no, we aren't doing that.
But that was the original design. It could have gone either way. It was agnostic, and that's the biggest regret.
On that note, while I go out and spend the rest of the evening trying to fix my computer in time for next week, we'll leave you to it tonight. And thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you all next week. But don't forget, if you've seen anything for what's in store tonight, or in fact anything at all, just go along and have a look at the eModels website, emodels.co.uk. Have a browse. You never know what you'll find.
Yep.
And we're on
Slap it in your basket, and it's not yours till you've paid for it.
Slap it in your basket.
And also get a tooth. Everybody wants the tooth.
Oh, no, I've got to go and make tea, apparently.
Yeah, you get the
And
teeth
with the Red Cross as well. I don't know what the Red Cross is.
That means
If you like the tooth, as somebody said, check out the pumping heart as well.
Pink heart.
Yeah. So we'll leave you to it, and we'll see you all next week. Same time, same place, same back channel. So, all right. Thank you very much, guys. See you all.
Adios,
Bye.